Hello everybody, I'm Clovis, you're welcome on here and thanks so much for clicking. So in our today's video, I'm going to be talking in relation to this lady, Miss Kaides. She was cabin crew for Emirates Airlines. So the video I'm going to be talking about on here, we're going to be talking in relation to is probably her video which says 5 dark secrets of Emirates Airlines exposed. Now, when we talk of the Middle East, the UAE, some people see it as a fancy place, a very fine place. And when they hear of Emirates Airlines, they think of one of the most fancy airlines in the world, the most beautiful airline in the world, yeah, with so many A380s, Boeing 777, 300s and 200, and so on and so forth. Yeah, that company with the highest number of Airbus 380s. Yeah, the upper deck and the lower deck, and they think of the fancy cabin crew, they think of those beautiful girls, the handsome men, and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's what goes through the minds of so many people when they think of Emirates Airlines. Yeah, but it is a sad thing to know that an airline like that has so many hidden secrets behind it. They have so many dark sides that you don't get to see. You need to get into it. Then you're gonna come tell me oh, I never knew it was like this. I had never thought, I had never imagined such an airline would be up to such a thing. They're gonna be doing such to their staff. It is a place where, yeah, some people may enjoy it. Yeah, some enjoy it at the beginning, in the middle. They say, no, this isn't good. Some at the very start say, goodness, I never knew Emirates was going to be this bad. I never knew working in the UAE or probably in the Middle East was going to be this horrible. It is a place where people get, abused, groomed and abused, exploited, and yet you can't talk. You as an employee in that country or in a city in the UAE, let's say Abu Dhabi or probably Dubai, an employee doesn't have a say. You have no rights. You can't do nothing. Yeah.
Emirates Airline is all about marketing and perfect image, but if you scratch beneath the surface, you can find a lot of mistreatment, suffering, sad or horror employee stories, and cruel exploitation of expatriates coming to work with this airline. What makes the current Emirates human resources crisis unbearable is the fact that Emirates Airline is above any labor law. It means that managers can do and will do whatever they want and nobody can stop them.
When I say you can't do nothing, your employer can do whatever thing they want to do and you're not going to do nothing. You can't resist. You can't fight back. Because if you do, you're still going to be won. You're going to win everything. It is a country where they don't care about their workers. I'm telling you. No matter how hard a company tries to pretend, the truth is they don't care about their workers. So when I got to see this video from Miss Kaides, she was a former cabin crew for Emirates Airlines, talking about the 5 dark secrets of Emirates Airlines exposed. I'm like, okay, I watched it, I heard everything, I saw every article, and I'm like, yeah, that's the fucking truth. I'm sorry for using this kind of, bad language, but that's the truth. Whatever thing she said on that video, everything is definitely true.
You'll be told at your trainings that we are the best in the world, so if we have chosen you to work for us, it means that you're the best as well. Once you actually start working, you'll feel all the incapability and greediness of your managers on your back. You'll be ruthlessly treated as a number, forced to be passengers and managers' servant, and if you don't obey it in any way, you'll be bullied, harassed and forced to resign. It is very hard to describe poisonous and negative atmosphere which is waiting for you once you begin with your work. You'll be reported for a small mistake or for no reason at all, backstabbed, disrespected and humiliated. And if you're young and inexperienced, you're likely to use your self-confidence and sense of a personal value. The point of this masquerade is to keep attracting new people to replace old, resigned, terminated, sick and unmotivated ones. Emirates management is very aware of the process. It's just that they are lying to the public and instead telling them the truth. They desperately need 11,000 new staff to replace those who massively resigned in the couple of last months. They will tell you that they are expanding their business and fleet and that they are becoming more powerful and successful. Besides lying to potential new joiners, they are also lying to themselves.
At the very beginning, they're going to tell you, we are the best in the market. We are the best airline in the world. Yeah, we're going to give you the best accommodation. We're going to do this. Emirates is this, Emirates is that. Now, Emirates itself is that kind of company where, you know, those on top, yeah, you might think they are fine, but probably they may be fine. I don't know about it. I don't know about that. I don't know how the figures have not been at the top of there, but I've been to that place and I have talked to lots of cabin crew, lots of staff, and so on and so forth. I've worked there as well. Now, Emirates Airlines works in partnership with some other companies. I don't know if should I say partnership? It is one thing. It's just some kind of, some bends, they're trying to do some, you know what I'm saying? To make it look like, okay, we're hiring from some other company. It's Emirates. The thing is, I believe they don't want to pay staff lots of money. So they work in collaboration with this company called TransGuard. It is still Emirates. They can't fool nobody. I know everything right now. I'm going to tell you, okay, we're going to be hiring staff from TransGuard. And this company definitely brings staff from Africa and Asia. Yeah, they want cheap labor. When I talk of cheap labor, you start thinking of probably slave trade back in the days. They come to Africa, they pass through agents, or probably people come to the UAE, Dubai, and they look for jobs, and at the end of the day they end up getting those jobs from TransGuard, and it's Emirates. You're gonna work for Emirates, but the pay they're gonna give you, it is deplorable. It is just a stipend. Those are no wages. So Miss Katie's on here is talking on the perspective of cabin crew and probably staff. Yeah, it is still the same thing. Emirates is Emirates. Yeah, we talk of those cabin crew, we talk of porters, we talk of security. I want to bring in all of this in relation to her video right now. Though she doesn't talk about this, she focuses on cabin crew. She starts talking about how Emirates are going to say they are the best in the market. You're going to have best accommodation so far and so on, all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, it isn't true. That is not true. When you get into that, so much, so many of this staff at the very start, they resign within 6 months. Some go on leave and never return. Now, we're talking probably, let me talk of unexperienced staff or people who do not have like that experience, who are probably put at the top. They will become cabin supervisors, they will become pursers, probably because of some connections and so on and so forth. And you begin to see that you as a new staff, you've got a lot of workload.
Aside from the issue of pilot fatigue, Emirates Airline tries to appear more professional by reusing old employee numbers on new staff, thus making it seem that they have a well-experienced team in charge of the flights, one cabin crew member told RT. However, the reality is that the majority of new staff are resigning within 6 months. Newcomers cannot cope with the workload and fatigue.
I have been there and I know. At the very start, you can't imagine you work for 12 hours every day. And there are times when you might work for 12 hours, you come back home, something happens, they come for you again. And when they come for you during that time, you're not paid. You work for free. So you have no rights. You don't have any say. And you're being paid a stipend of 2,000 dirhams. What is 2,000 dirhams? $500 a month. You don't feed well. You can't even eat. Nothing. It's horrible. The kind of food they serve in the accommodations, it is horrible. And they want you to take that food and they're going to deduct it from your salary. I had done a video about this, but I think that video was not quite pronounced. It wasn't really, a boosted video. But I think this one, I want people to get that idea, to know what happens in that part of the world. Now, when they pay their staff this low, security and porters, I won't talk about cabin crew for now. I'm going to come to that later in relation with, Miss Kaidis's video. Now, as a porter, you earn 900 dirhams that is probably $150 or $200 a month. What do you do with that? You've got a family back home. Yeah. Now, porters, you need to like load in the bags of passengers into the plane or into containers, and they're definitely going to put into a plane. Most of those guys are educated. It's not like they are not educated. It's just probably the conditions that put them in such situations. Now, security as well. Passengers have to go through security. Yeah, you've probably flown with, let's say, Qantas from Dubai to Australia, Dubai to the UK. Qantas no longer goes via Dubai, I think so. Lufthansa, Royal Brunei, Air Canada to Toronto, and other US flights via Emirates Airlines itself, but you're going to go through Dubai. We've got so many other airlines, yeah. Yeah, I talked of Lufthansa, right? Air Canada, Royal Brunei, Qantas, and so on and so forth. Now, as a passenger, you need to be protected. When you have to go through such stuff that are being abused and, made to shut up, and you get those beautiful smiles at the boarding gate, do you think those smiles are real? Those smiles are not real. Staff that are being bullied and forced to shut up. You think they're going to do a fine job? You think your lives are probably, you're going into a safe life? No. When they do those jobs at that time, when they work at that time, they don't care no more. I've been there and I know. They don't work with their hearts no more. What they're interested in is getting their money back, and they want to move forward. Probably money they spent to get there, or probably money they spent looking for jobs in that part of the world and finally got that kind of shitty job, and so on. Your lives are not safe anymore. Yeah, they might be checking, but do you think they are checking with your minds? A lot of things go wrong that you don't see as a passenger. Now, talking of porters, I've been there, probably I worked at security some time ago. Now, you would see porters opening bags of passengers. When they act that way, it is to the detriment of those passengers, because passengers lose money while traveling. You put money in your luggage, and when you get to your destination, you do not find it. Have you ever asked yourself what happened? Those underpaid porters, they open those bags. They get your money because they are being underpaid. They've got so many problems to handle back home. Now, when you see them, or probably when I see them, what do you expect me to do? Go report them to the authorities? No. They are being, treated so badly that if you go report them right now, they're going to have to go to jail. What for? Just say, okay, return it. If you don't, I don't want to see it. Return it. Just put it back. And I'm going to forget about everything. Passengers are not safe via security. Passengers are not safe via porters. Now, let's get into cabin crew. Talking about cabin crew, we say some of them are overworked, being bullied by probably pursers and cabin supervisors. Most of Emirates cabin crew probably would resign within 6 months. Yeah, that's the truth. I've talked to lots of them. And, overworking hours, some of them work too much. And it's that kind of company where if they want to lay you off, they just lay you off like trash. I think a year ago, when we had the coronavirus, when it just started, they had to lay off staff. We're going to talk of, okay, problem. There is no business. You want them to keep staff. What for? It didn't start today, darling. They had started this a long time ago with other staff. But they just started that with cabin crew. We used to work in a milieu where they will tell you work 12 hours a day. There are times when you work for 3 months without a single day off. Can you imagine it? You're working for 12 hours every day. You go back home, you don't have no time. They just call for you whenever they want to call for you. You work and work and work, and you get a stipend at the end of the day. You work for 3 months without an off. And when you get so tired, you say, okay, I want to resign. They're going to tell you, okay, you're going to work for 2 additional months before you can go, before we let you go. We give you your benefits and all of that. And within those 2 months, you're not paid. You've got no salary within those months. And they're going to say, look, we're going to add that to your benefits at the end of the day. What benefits? What amount of money are they going to give you? I later on heard that, okay, because of all of these conditions, people were working too hard, security staff and all that. So they had to cut it down to 8 hours a day. Each shift you could work for 8 hours. Now, you work for 8 hours, how much do they pay you? You're going to earn probably 1,500 dirhams. What kind of money is that? $350 a month? What do you do with $350? Now, talking about cabin crew, let's go back to cabin crew. I keep switching and switching. Miss Katie's on this video puts in so many articles exposing, she says, 5 dark secrets of Emirates Airlines exposed. Emirates is Emirates, being Emirates, Transgat, or whatever it is one. They just use you and dump you like trash whenever they want to dump you. When they feel like, okay, we don't need staff. Okay, you no longer work for those 2 months. I was talking about security. You no longer work for those 2 months. When it's time they feel like they want to toss you away, okay, they don't care. When it's coming from them, you say today you're no longer working. It's over. You're going to go back home. We're going to put your stuff together. You're going to go back home. But when it's time, when it's you who goes to resign on your own, they want to punish you. She talked about this lady who resigned. I think she was ground staff or so. She talked about this lady. So did she resign? She went home and resigned from home. But before resigning, she had put back, all her uniforms, her shoes, and all that. She was talking about cabin crew being given probably a single pair of shoes, and you're expected to work with this pair of shoes throughout. And they expected to go buy shoes from their store, which will probably cost over 100 dirhams. Can you imagine that? How do you cope with that kind of situation? You're being overworked, and you go through all of that. When you get into the flight, you see cabin crew smiling. Do you think they are okay? Do you think they are fine? I don't believe so. If you hear their stories, you're going to say, this job is shit. Forget about the beautiful ladies you see, or probably you girls, the handsome men you see out there as cabin crew or whatever. They have got their own problems. Though some of them may enjoy the job, yeah, it's a normal thing. It's normal to some people. But when you talk of human rights, you talk of how employees should be treated. They don't treat their employees the right way. They don't. So Miss Kaides talks about this lady. It's an article. She reads it. She says, okay, this lady went back home. Then she didn't even take her end of, her benefits at the end of the day. She resigned from home. Then Emirates later on sends this lady an email saying she has to pay this, she has to pay that, they have to deduct that, without even thinking of her benefits. That is what goes on in every department in Emirates Airlines. That is what they do. They keep trying to get money from staff. You wouldn't imagine a company like that one would be doing such a thing, but they do that.
One former ground staff sent me recently her bill. She got it at her home address. She resigned suddenly. She went home and never came back, which is a usual situation in Emirates Airline. But this girl notified her managers that she will not come back. She arranged her uniform and uniform assets to be returned to the company, and she asked how she can cancel her visa from her home country. She left her end of service money and leave balance to the company. After 3 months, she got a letter from Emirates Airline asking her to pay several thousands of dirhams to them. This bill included the deduction of the notice period salary, but it didn't include her end-of-service benefit and unpaid leave balance which she left to the company. How embarrassing is this? Such a huge and successful company trying to squeeze the money from their abused employees? As much as it seems ridiculous, it is happening for a long time now. Let's take shoes for example. Staff is forced to wear them for 1 year. After that, they get free replacement. It's just outrageous to expect anyone to wear the same pair of shoes almost every working day for a whole year, but Emirates Airlines do that hoping that many staff will just go to their store and buy new ones for around 180 dirhams. And many staff do so, as it's very dangerous to walk around on ruined heels. The newest idea of Emirates management on how to take money from their employees are nationality pins, which cabin crew are forced to wear.
They do that. Having abused, bullied staff and all, so on and so forth, overworked staff. You don't expect a security guard probably to be overworked. That security holds the lives of passengers. When you're overworked, being treated like trash, you don't feed properly, you don't think straight, no more. And you as a passenger, you need to go through security to be safe. And if security has to say, Kali Wali, I don't give a damn. I don't care about what goes on here. I just want to get my money, the money I spent to get to this position and get away. What do you think? You think you're flying safe? You're not flying safe at all. Now, when it comes to those at the top, let me focus now on Emirates Group security. You think of Mr. Zach, Mr. Tani, Mr. Jose, Jose, we usually call him Jose. I'm sorry to say this, and I'm sorry to mention these names. I don't care no more. Yeah, staff complain, and they'll tell you, are you going through that? Is this what you're going through? But you don't see no changes at the end of the day. You don't see nothing.
New Emirates commercial with Jennifer Aniston is a carefully designed manipulation. This ad actually discriminates and divides people on rich and poor, clearly sending a message that Emirates wants only rich passengers, that it cares only for them. It tells you that you should work for free. It mocks and revenges American Airlines for Emirates' recent problems with alleged subsidies, and it promotes superficiality. All this through...
I don't even know how to explain this anymore. Enough of all the pretense. Enough of all the exploitations in such countries and cities, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and all other Arab countries. People now perceive such countries, they see them in such a very bad light. And it's a shame to say you see those countries with those big super buildings, towers, skyscrapers, all being built from slavery. It is slavery. Underpaid workers from Asia and Africa. That's it. It's horrible. It's deplorable. You need to see the conditions in which, these workers, the way they work, you're going to cry. It's horrible in the scorching sun, in such a dry place, in a desert. Go there. Do not only stay in those big fancy hotels, staying at the Burj Arab, Burj Khalifa, staying in those beautiful places. No! Go into Dubai. Go to the real Dubai and see what's going on there. They don't care about the lives of their employees. They do not care. They don't. Go look at the toilets. Those people who work so hard in Dubai use. It's horrible. Go look at the accommodations. You will see a beautiful accommodation outside. It looks beautiful. Have you gotten inside? Did you ever try to get inside to see what's going on there? Now, with cabin crew, the accommodations may be better. They may live just two of them. They live just two of them. When you talk of other people, 6 persons per room, 8 persons per room, it's horrible. It's horrible. Now we're talking about the coronavirus. I don't think anything changed. Because all you're interested in is the money. They just want to use you and dump you. Those kind of countries, you work for them, you build their nations, and you leave. You leave at the end of the day with nothing. The stipend they pay you there, that's nothing. You build a country where you can't live in. You can't get nothing from that country. Then what are you doing? Why stay in such a country? A place where you're going to be abused, bullied, used, and dumped. They don't care about your health, nothing at all. Everything is just pretense. Everything. I'm going to put in some parts of Miss Kaitis' video on here. 5 dark secrets of Emirates Airlines revealed. Now, I can't get to like talk on all of that, but I will just put it to make you guys see something. It is an old video. It's been there for over 3 years. I don't have the right to use it, but I think I have to use it on this video. I've got to use it on this video. In a country, a city like that one where people have been treated like shit, you might admire cabin crew. What are you admiring? They go through hell as well. Some of them get overworked, being bullied by their bosses, cabin supervisors. Well, I remember there was a day, I think this flight was going to LA, Los Angeles. So this cabin crew, this lady, yeah, it was a young girl. I think she and the purser did the same training station to be integrated. You know, they've got so many processes, and I think they got a problem while training. So they met on this flight because probably you might on the general declaration, let's say an Airbus A380 has got 30 crew. Yeah, that's including the pilots and the first officers, 2 pilots, 2 first officers, and the rest just normal cabin crew and so on. So when they got on there, they recognized each other. They had a problem. I don't know what happened. It's like, okay, I am now a person, so I'm going to tell you what to do. You don't have any say. And the other girl was like, I've also got my own rights. You just can't talk to me anyhow. It became a big problem. You know, to most of them, flying to the US is an additional bonus because it's over 14 hours. And you get paid for those 14 hours. And going to the US, you might spend 2 days over there in the US. And most of them, it is your first time going to the USA, especially if it's your first time. You're excited to get to the USA. Yeah, because most of them join these jobs just to travel around the world without knowing the bad side of the job. They just think, I see these beautiful girls. Forget about the posters you see out there of Emirates crew, you know, dragging bags here and that. Forget about those posters. Get in there and see what's going on there. Yeah, get in there. So they started this fight, and the person, okay, I am the boss here right now, so I'm going to deal with you. She had to upload this lady. This lady ran out crying, and she was replaced. That is what most of them face. She wants to claim superiority, and the airline, you know, the airline doesn't care about you. Like that girl, I don't think so. Another one, it was an Indian and a Canadian. Now, what baffles me is why would you leave Canada to come to such a country to work as a cabin crew? Is it just like the cravings that you have to fly as a cabin crew or what? I don't know. But I wouldn't leave such a country to come work in that. No matter what position I'm getting, I would not. In a country where people are treated like shit, I would not. I would never. Yeah. No matter what position, how much you're going to pay me, no. You're building their country and you're going to leave at the end of the day. I'm sorry, but I have to put up this video because what people go through in their country, no, it's not the best. They get mentally ill. People's mental health gets affected in those countries by probably the working conditions and what they go through with their bosses, which is not good. Yeah, mental health, people go through a lot in those countries, the UAE and other Arab countries. I'm sorry. People go through a lot when it comes to mental health. They suffer. And the employers don't get to see this. And you would see some of those locals pretending like they love you. They don't love you. They're just using you to get what they want. You build their country and you live. You're going to leave. You live in it, you build that country, and you leave at the end of the day. What do you gain? Nothing. They don't care about you in those countries. They don't. All they care about is the services you're going to render to them. And it's a shame a local comes today and tomorrow that local is your boss. You teach that local how to do something and tomorrow he is your boss. What kind of boss is that? What can you teach me that I don't know? He's your boss and he doesn't even do anything. It's a shame, and he orders you around like shit. I haven't seen that in any other country apart from such a useless place. I'll call it useless because it's useless. I must tell you, it's horrible that somebody comes with zero common sense, zero brains. We are educated. When you talk of Africans, we are educated. Most of them out there are educated. It is just the conditions they have to face probably in their countries. Most of those Asians, they are educated. So when they get there, don't treat them like shit. Now, why would you leave Europe, no matter a European country, stay in those countries? Why would you leave America to come work in the UAE? Is it because of the pay? No matter how much you pay me. As long as I'm from those countries, I'm never going to work in those countries. Never. They are horrible, deplorable working conditions in those countries. Now, some of these bosses are probably British or probably European. They also have a role to play. When you get to those countries, you come from the Western world. Try to fix it. Don't worsen the situation. They worsen it. They worsen it, I'm saying this. Not only the locals. Some of those bosses are Americans, Europeans, yeah, from the UK in particular. Try to change it and don't worsen it. Try to do something about it. No matter what they do. I know some of them, when you try to like say you want to start changing, they're going to come for you. Do what is right and do not do what you think is in line with what they want you to do. People go through hell over that. A lot of abuse, mentally, psychologically, which is not the best. When I saw Miss Curtis's video, I was like, okay, this is it. This is it. Emirates Airlines, it is a horrible airline. I'm sorry. If you want to hire staff, hire them directly. Don't go through other small companies because you want to pay them less. Hire directly and pay them that amount of money that you have to pay. Don't treat people like shit. It ain't good and it ain't working for me. Nah, it isn't. You don't do things that way. And when doing that, no, people can talk. We've got so many platforms right now. People can talk. You keep threatening people. I remember there was a time when some of these so-called supervisors or whatever came like, don't put anything on social media against the company. We know that. Treat people right and they're not going to put no shit on social media. Yeah, they're going to do that. But if you treat them wrong, they're going to put all sorts of shit on social media. People feel intimidated working under those companies in the UAE, Emirates Airlines in particular. Yeah, and it's horrible. Miss Curtis's video, that's the best video I've watched so far. She comes in with so much facts on that video. I'm going to put in like a little bit of it on here so you can see it for yourself. This video is all in relation to Miss Curtis's video. That video is a great inspiration in making this video as well. There's a whole lot of things we're going to talk about subsequently in other videos. So guys, I think I'm just going to say a cheerio for now. I'm going to say bye-bye. I'm Clovis, all the way from Africa. Catch you in some other video with lots of love. Emirates Airlines is definitely not what you think it is. It's not. The UAE, Arab countries are not what you think they are. Forget about the pay. Don't get fooled. Do not get fooled. Learn to fight for yourselves. Fight. I'm somebody, I didn't start talking today. I kept on talking. I didn't start talking today. Even when I was there, I took no shit from nobody. Nobody ain't gonna tell me no shit over that. No one. Because I know my rights. I know where I'm coming from. I'm educated. And because I'm doing whatever job, you can't treat me like shit. There was no way. I don't keep my mouth sealed. If you're gonna hate me for talking, I talk. I don't care. I say what I've got to say. I don't hide nothing. If I'm not okay with this, I say I'm not okay with this. If I don't like this, I tell you I don't like it. I react to it. I don't hide it. I'm not a hypocrite to hide it. Yeah, that's it. That is it.